I thought they were merely nails and screws. Now you tell me what is a dry wall? Are all walls not dry? Like, what the fuck does Ben Shapiro actually have to complain about? He's like a fucking multimillionaire's fail son who played violin in Hollywood for a little bit. Like, what does he know about the world? My favorite video is still him going to Home Depot because, like, Home Depot was like, we're not going to do some gay shit for fucking, like, June or something like that. And then he was just like, I'm going to go ahead and support Home Depot. And you know, he was just lost. And he went and bought a fucking, like, 10 by, like, a 1 by 10 inch by fucking 4 foot poplar chunk and just walked out with it in a plastic bag. Like, it's the most perfect shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, why'd you choose that piece of poplar? Do you think he was like in the lumber section and watching people flip the lumber up on its side and looking down the long edge and was just like, what is going on? This is the muscular class. What are they up to in here? Big man. Bucky Buck. There was a bunny. Was there a bunny? I missed him. You'll enjoy his writing when you get the chance to go over it. I have that book. I bought it. I don't know if I showed you guys, but I have bought that book. See, this is why I'm trying to do some stuff that I enjoy, because I know next week or the week after I'm going to be doing a 3.5 hour stream of me talking about Ben Shapiro's True Allegiance and just considering giving a bullet true allegiance to the soft tissue inside my fucking palate. They can frantically skitter around like the lizard people they are after you snag their tails. You had to remind me of Shapiro and his tiny ass piece of wood in a plastic bag. Like, why? Because he bought that piece because it was all he could carry. I guarantee it. I know exactly how, because I go to Home Depot and Lowe's all the time. I know how they're like laid out, and I know exactly what happened. He parked somewhere. I guarantee you Ben Shapiro drives a truck because he moved to Nashville or whatever. You can go to the Home Depot he went to, because I'm pretty sure it's in fucking Nashville. It's off the exit. It's somewhere probably out past like where fucking the Dolly World fucking experiences or whatever the hell they call that. Grand Ole Opryland. That's what I'm talking about. Grand Ole Opryland. He went to one of those fucking off the loop in Nashville and drove his truck out there and was confuddled about how fucking many entrances the Home Depot had. And he was looking at it. Imagine this. Imagine you're fucking Ben Shapiro. You have never worked a day in your life. Excuse me, it was very difficult to go to law school. I could go to law school like for free if I wanted to. It's not hard for me. I talk crazy, but I'm actually kind of fucking like, I'm kind of lit brain wise. I can do some smart kid shit when I'm not fucking around. But like, it's nothing to me. I've known lawyers. I'm friends with doctors and shit. I have a highly educated friend group. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just about putting in the time, and especially if you have the money, you just get to be a lawyer. Like, there's a lot of dog shit lawyers. He was probably one of them. Otherwise, he would be a lawyer right now and not a failed violinist. Which, by the way, that people don't introduce him as failed violinist is just a disservice to the earth, right? But you're imagining, he's never worked a day in his life. No real jobs. He can spell the word carpentry as like a sort of like it's a parlor trick in his head. It's like a word he knows, but he has no spiritual connection to it. Like, does that not blow your mind? He has never built shit, right? Because he made a special trip to go to Home Depot and bought wood. Like, are you a homeowner out there? Any of you? I am. You know, I'm not like highly fucking rich and shit, but I have been going to Home Depot 20 to 40 times a year since we got our house a few years ago. And even before that, and when I was a kid, all the time, right? All this white stuff behind me is primer drywall that I put in. Because I did all of the carpet. I hung the door that's behind me. This little wedge piece that's coming down right there, that's the underside of a staircase I built with my father-in-law. Oh, little guy, it is time for your treat. Where did I set that? Hey. Where is it? Like, I can do that. I can fucking put all that shit together. I think it's just a basic skill that people should have, is the ability to like manipulate the world around you for your benefit with your hands. Like if you can't absolutely do it, it's okay. But like the thought of a guy like him just being like, this is my fucking moment to earn a little bit of money, going up to a Home Depot is wild, because you get there, and if you know anything about a Home Depot, if you guys aren't familiar, it's a hardware store in America, a big box, one of the two major big box hardware stores. If you would sort of like, hey, Harbor Freight is doing something, baffled. That Ben Shapiro would know what a Harbor Freight Tools is would be like a bet I would lose 9 times out of 10. I would be stunned to find out. Like, could you imagine Ben Shapiro telling a joke about buying a fucking $150 engine hoist from fucking Harbor Freight Tools? I can't even imagine. You know, the first thing he said in his mind when he drove up to Home Depot too was like, why are all these Mexicans here? A stunning amount of Mexicans. But he just gets there and he's like, this isn't like a Kroger. There's doors everywhere. Why are there doors? There's a garden center you can go into. There's a fucking the central doors. And what is a contractor's only entrance? But that's where all the big trucks are. I have a big truck. Maybe I should go park near there. And then he just walks in and is just baffled. Because first off, I guarantee you he does not go to stores with as many like non-white people as you're just generally going to see in any Home Depot or fucking Lowe's. That must have been a fucking shock to him, because he's just surrounded by like tall working class people with like way darker skin tones than him, or at least that just like have calluses and shit. He's just this little fucking failed violinist, twerpy fucking racist, skittering around, just baffled as shit. Wall, a whole aisle full of nothing but ceiling fans. He just sees the lighting section where all the fucking lights just spilling out, just confused as shit. Like, oh no, these are lights, but they're not the lights that would go on my wall. I would never purchase this. Like, do you think a sense of shock and wonder fell over him the first time he walked down an aisle where you could just get, like, he just saw how many different screws there were? Or do you think that just didn't register at all? He just starts walking down the fasteners aisle and he's just like, deck screws, indoor, outdoor. I thought they were merely nails and screws. Now you tell me what is a dry wall? Are all walls not dry? He looks around for a second. His son has vanished into the insulation aisle. he just breathing heavily as his little fucking flighty bird chest nearly collapses under the weight of realizing that ladders can even get that tall. He sees somebody moving by on a fucking scissor lift like, ah! And this is always my thing, is that, like, you get to the lumber section is the one thing where you're going to be sure that you can buy a thing basically and just say like, okay, this is vaguely manly, because he's not going to buy anything gay like potting soil, you know? That's a thing he's thinking. He's like, I'm going to go to the Home Depot, but I don't want anyone to think I'm a fucking homo, so I'm not going into the garden section. I don't want anyone thinking that I'm a little baby lady, little fucking buy potting soil or some fucking flowers, where meanwhile I go there and I'm like, ooh, I found a peach tree for $30. I found a peach tree for $30. I fucking almost pissed, dude. I would have been out there cracking open fucking little fans, voguing up and down that motherfucker with just pure unsolicited joy if I could have. Like, you go there during fall and you find like the $3 plants, you're like, oh, motherfucker, I'm going to have this grow food for me. So he's like, I can't go that way. That's like gay shit. I can't fuck with that. I got to go the other way where the man shit is. I see concrete, but that's scary. I bet he went and looked at the concrete bags. And can you imagine little fucking bird arm Shapiro just trying to pick up a 40 fucking pound bag of Quikrete, just like losing his little manicured nails chipping, popping off the flesh of his finger. Everything in that store is so much bigger than him. And all the people that are his size are just a bunch of fucking Meccano fucking roofers and shit who are just jacked, like wearing like their little fucking flat caps and their ball caps and like the neck covers, just like, fuck is this little fucking white guy doing in here? Arlana, you lost? They're just seeing like, okay, somebody's fucking contractor got fucking lost in here. Who is this kid? He could have bought so many things, but there's no way he knows how to get into the tool section. Because the tool sections at these places, he's at Home Depot too. The Home Depot tool section is fucking highly intimidating. Because it's those 2 rows, you know, with the big center area, and it's just sharp shit and things dangling. Like if he brought his kid, he brought himself. He's like, oh, if I touch one of those, I'm going to have like a fucking 3-pound fucking trim hammer fall off the wall and just brain me to death. All of this heavy shit. The power tools, baffled. No fucking idea. And maybe he even was just like, I'm going to pick up a power tool. And he's just like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with a $300 fucking pneumatic fucking impact wrench. Like, what is this? I can't, probably maybe also can't even pick it up. Like, I would be stunned. You know, he just tries to get one of those like 5-in-1 Ryobi tool set things. He tries to pick up that big ass green box and he's just like, so he just keeps going. And he's like, well, I don't want to get, this is the process. I don't want to get anything that's not obviously from Home Depot too. Because once you get into the fasteners area and the tools, then you start running into shit that's like closets, you know, your garage section, you know. So it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to buy shelf fucking pieces and stuff. I could have gotten that from like a Target. He's been to a Target. He has to have been to a fucking Target. And then also you got tile and carpeting. Who the fuck knows? You can't just go fucking take a big cart. He's got to hold it for the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, honey, can you take a picture of me with this? So he got a big fucking roll of carpet. No. He keeps going and going, and then he hits the Goldilocks zone. Further on is roofing. At the very end, all you have is roofing. You have concrete. You have gutters. He's baffled. He's looking at gutters. He has no idea what that is. To the right of him is what? 2 aisles of 3 stories of doors just floating over the top of him like an album cover for a band that he is not cool enough to know about. And then there's just the perfect section. There's lumber. Fuck that. That's terrifying. But then there's little lumber, right? Because before you get to 2x4s and like man shit, before you start going to you like, if he looks at a fucking stairwell stringer, he's gonna shit his pants. That's why is the wood got triangles missing? I don't know. It could be for anything. He looks to his right, pants pissed, underpits sweated, fucking face flushed, little bird heart about to pop out of his fucking chest. He looks to the right. Thank fucking God, we are in the craft lumber aisle. Holy shit. Now, what can he choose from, right? He's got white oak. He's got red oak. He's got the little pine boards hanging out down there. And he's looking around. He's like, well, am I going to buy one of the cheapest things? Because I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm not going to buy fucking anything. I'm not going to buy anything in this store I can do something with. He just like, what? He pulls out some of the dowel rods, you know, that you're supposed to make your curtain hangers out of. He's just like, well, that's kind of gay. This is like a dick-shaped rod. I go, put that back. Fucking, he starts finding little carpentry pieces that you tap in so that you can like smoothly join things. No idea what that is. But then he looks to his right, and what does he find? A standard 1-inch by 10-inch by 4-foot poplar sheet for MSRP of the year. I will tell you right now, MSRP $15. If I had to guess, he is in Nashville, so it might have been like $20 to $25. He sees a piece of pop. It's huge, but it's also light. It's a 1-inch thickness board. He can get his little fucking girl arm around it. You know, his little fucking biceps not, because he's already tried to push a lumber cart by this time, and no one can look at a lumber cart and not try to push it. You know, it's got the big loops on the top. It's got the little 3 chunks. You know, he sees other people over there, like the guys with jobs, who for some reason, because the world just makes no sense, make less money than he does, loading up 2x4s, checking them out. And he's like, well, I'm not fucking going anywhere near that shit. But he tried to push one of those. It wiggled and made a little bit of noise. Terrified. All of his hair's on end. He moved the lumber cart. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Panic and run. back to his poplar area. He knows he can carry this out of there. He picks it up. It hurts his hand. His hand is inflamed the entire time he is walking this to the checkout. Terrified, by the way, because when he goes to the checkout, he's got like a fucking half of a fucking plumbing crew in front of him, and then like 6 dudes that are just buying like Diet Cokes while they're waiting for the rest of the dudes to check out with like 3/4 tons of fucking shingles, you know, behind him, just fucking talking in Spanish in public. He is freaked the fuck out. Just please, any second now, please, 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 please. Bloop. They fucking scan it. Also, by the way, the poplar board, because of where it is, it will have a price tag on it. It will have the UPC on it, as opposed to like, you know, your 2x4s and shit, which it's like stapled to the end. He has no idea. But this thing actually has just like a normal thing. It has a price tag on the board. You can just scan it, right? So he's just in there breathing heavy. He's got his foundation on because the bitch ain't going out if she's not fucking snatched, all right? Ben Shapiro does not go out without his fucking foundation on. He's got his concealer going, and he needs to get to the car and film this motherfucker before he starts sweating through that shit. Yes, he is a goddamn professional. Wanders out there, puts a fucking plastic bag on the end of it with his receipt in it, which is so amazing that it's like a joke, a real carpenter would tell. Would be like, hey, I've got to go in and I've got to run in and get something. And then when he goes in and he buys like a poplar sheet board that he needs to like fix like some like, you know, like an inlaid cabinet or something in some rich person's house. He has to go buy the board they're going to cut down. He comes back out to the work van with like the fucking little brown plastic bag on the end of a 4-foot fucking with the receipt in it. And then his person has been sitting in there fucking like spitting into his dip cup, watching fucking porn on his cell phone. Just like, he's like, shows it to him like, and they both laugh like that, never address that he actually did it. And then they get off and go and fucking make like whatever, 25, 35, 65 bucks an hour. Honestly, if you're working with fucking finish wood like that, you're probably like $125 an hour fucking like carpenter. That's probably actually a sick ass job. But fucking, you see this kid walk out. He's got his little. Well, so what I've done is I've gone to the Home Depot and I've bought this nice solid clink 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 piece of poplar wood. And that's the whole thing. But I think about it so much. It's like one of the only Ben Shapiro lore bits that constantly comes up in my head. I think about it every time I go to the fucking hardware store because like I'm fine in there. I'm like Ron Swanson when I get it. I know more than you. You know? like buddy, trust me, if I'm in here to buy a 4-inch fucking flange for the toilet, I know where to go. I'm back in plumbing looking through fucking 1.5-inch PVC chunks, my man. We both know that we don't know where the fucking 1.5 elbow that should be in this fucking box is. I don't need you to say anything to me. I'm so sorry. I had to go through that bit. That's my payback for being boring as shit with the audio thing a minute ago. Like we got the viewers up a little bit. How much could a piece of poplar be, Michael? $15. He still has that piece of wood leaning against the wall in his garage. At least they made a solid home for a spider. That motherfucker is dust. Covered in dust somewhere. It is 100% a fact that thing has never done anything.